The night she asked for space, something in her eyes felt colder than the air between us. She said she needed time to clear her head, but her phone kept lighting up with messages she hid the moment I walked into the room. When she left the house the next morning, I stared at the blank wall for hours before opening her GPS history, and that's when I realized her space wasn't empty at all. It was already occupied, and the truth she'd been hiding was waiting for me at a location I never should have found. The moment I opened her GPS history, my stomach twisted so hard I thought I'd be sick. It wasn't a single suspicious stop. It was a pattern, a rhythm, a routine she perfected behind the smile she gave me every morning. While I was working overtime to keep us afloat, she was spending her afternoons at a house I'd never heard of. A house that would become the graveyard of every excuse she had ever fed me. And before I even stepped foot there, something inside me already knew my marriage had been dying long before she asked for space. I just hadn't wanted to see the body. I didn't check her phone because I thought she was cheating. I checked because her behavior stopped matching her words. She started pulling away slowly. First it was the late-night showers when she came home from running errands. Then it was the sudden urge to work on herself, but never inviting me into the process. Her smiles got thinner. Her hugs got shorter. And when she said she needed space, she said it with the polite tone people use when a waiter brings the wrong dish and they're trying not to cause a scene. She packed a small bag, just enough for a night or two. She said she'd stay at her sister's apartment to get clear-headed. I told her I supported her, but something about the way she avoided my eyes made the word support feel like a lie I was telling myself. When she walked out the door, silence filled the house. Heavy, uncomfortable, too still. I sat on the floor of our bedroom. Her pillow still smelled like her perfume, a perfume she hadn't worn around me in months. That's when her tablet lit up, notifications syncing from her phone. She must have forgotten it. My first instinct was to turn it face down, respect her privacy, but then her photo album opened itself automatically from a previous session. It showed a location tag at the bottom of a picture, a place I didn't recognize, a place she'd visited yesterday. I don't know what made me open her GPS history. Maybe it was fear. Maybe instinct. Maybe that tiny voice that had been whispering to me for weeks, telling me something was wrong. Her recent locations weren't random. 3 days in a row. Same address. Same time window. I tapped the location. A house popped up. Not her sister's apartment. Not a cafe. Not a store. A house across town in a quiet, beige neighborhood. I felt the kind of cold that starts in your chest and spreads out into your fingers. I zoomed in on the street. It wasn't a place she had ever mentioned. We had no friends there. No family. No reason. I stared at the tablet for a long time before I finally stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked out. The highway lights passed me like streaks of accusation. I kept telling myself I was wrong, that this was nothing, that she was probably meeting a friend she didn't tell me about. But deep down, I already knew. I turned into the neighborhood. Perfect lawns. Quiet driveways. Warm porch lights that made everything feel too peaceful. Then I saw it. Her car. Parked across the street from the GPS pin. My chest tightened, so hard I had to stop breathing to stay calm. I pulled over a few houses down, killed the engine, and watched the house. A silhouette moved past a window. Then another. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From clarity. The kind that hurts, because you can't unsee it. I was about to get out when the front door opened. She stepped outside, and she wasn't alone. A man followed her. He touched her lower back like he'd done it 100 times. She laughed, soft, familiar, the laugh I hadn't heard in months. She leaned into him. Every piece of air in my lungs vanished. This was her space. This was the real reason. I didn't get out of the car. I didn't shout. I didn't break. I just watched the truth unfold in front of me like the universe forcing my eyes open. When they went back inside, I finally breathed again. And it wasn't grief I felt. It was the beginning of something sharper. A need for answers. A need for justice. A need to look her in the eyes and let her know I knew. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the living room, staring at the front door like it owed me an explanation. The house felt foreign, like her betrayal had rearranged the walls while I was gone. My hands were still trembling hours after I left that neighborhood. At 6 a.m., I heard keys in the lock. She walked in quietly, like someone returning from a peaceful retreat instead of a stranger's bed. Her hair was tied differently than when she left. Her clothes were wrinkled, and she smelled like a mix of cologne that didn't belong to me and excuses she hadn't yet prepared. She froze when she saw me sitting on the couch. "You're up early," she said, forcing a soft smile. "I thought you'd still be asleep." I didn't smile back. "Did you get the space you needed?" Her face tightened, not with fear, with annoyance, that stung more than anything I'd seen the night before. "I told you I was going to my sister's," she said. "Yes," I answered. "You told me." She didn't catch the tone right away. She was still in the rhythm of the lie, moving through it like it was a routine she'd practiced. I stood up slowly. Her eyes flicked to my hands as if checking for anger. "I checked your GPS history," I said. Everything inside her went still. Her throat flexed, her fingers curled, her gaze dropped, but she still tried to salvage it. "That's an invasion of privacy." "The house," I continued, ignoring her attempt at moral high ground. "You've been there every afternoon this week. Yesterday, too." She swallowed hard. "It's not what you think." "Then explain." She looked away. "It's complicated." "No. It's very simple," I said softly. "Either you tell me the truth, or I'll tell you what I saw." Her breathing changed. Faster. Shallower. She knew I knew, or at least that I'd seen something. She took a shaky step back. "Can we please just sit and talk about this calmly? I'm overwhelmed." I didn't expect. "You weren't overwhelmed last night," I cut in. "You were laughing." Her eyes snapped up to mine. She understood exactly what that meant. "You were there," she whispered. "I saw your car. I saw him. And I saw you lean into him like I stopped existing." For a second, just a second, she didn't look guilty. She looked relieved, as if the truth finally surfaced, and she didn't have to carry the weight of pretending anymore. That hurt worse than anything. She sat on the arm of a chair, shoulders slumped. "His name is Daniel." I almost laughed, as if the name made it respectable. "How long?" I asked. "A few months." Months. The word felt like a punch. "So when you said you needed space," I said quietly, "you really meant you needed time with him?" She didn't argue. "Why?" I asked. "What did I do?" "That's the problem," she said dry-eyed. "It's not something you did. It's what I felt, or stopped feeling." "That's not an excuse," I said. "That's just convenience." She winced, but she didn't deny it. "I didn't plan this," she whispered. "People never do. They just allow it." She flinched. I was unhappy. I felt invisible. "I worked 12-hour shifts to give us a future," I said. "Invisible isn't the word you get to use." She pressed her palms to her face. "Can you please stop talking like I'm a villain?" "You cheated," I said calmly. "You lied. You sneaked out to see him. And you looked at me in the eyes every day like nothing was happening. That's not complicated. That's betrayal." She didn't argue. When she finally looked at me, something cold had replaced her fear. "So what now?" she asked. "Do you want a separation? Divorce? Revenge? What do you want from me?" I took a breath. A long, steady one. "I want the truth," I said. "All of it. And then I'll decide." She nodded slowly, as if accepting her fate. But then her phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced at it too quickly. Too familiar. Too guilty. I walked toward it. She reached out to grab it first. I got to it before she did. One message preview glowed on the screen. "Daniel, did he suspect anything?" She inhaled sharply, panic finally breaking through the mask she had kept on for months. And in that moment, the last thread holding my restraint together snapped. "Sit down," I said quietly. "We're not done." She sat down, knees pulled to her chest, trembling, not from fear, but from the recognition that the walls she built around herself were collapsing. I didn't rush her. I didn't yell. I just waited. Watching her unravel felt like holding a storm in my hands, fragile yet powerful enough to break everything. "You need to tell me everything," I said softly. "From the first time you went there, to the last message you sent him." Her lips quivered. She looked away. The apartment felt suffocating now. Every shadow seemed to echo the laughter I'd seen the night before, every familiar corner taunting me with memories of what we had and what she had taken. "It started after your promotion," she whispered finally. You were busy. I felt disconnected. I didn't know how to fix it. And then Daniel reached out. He was listening, he cared. I felt my stomach twist. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. Months of stolen attention, words exchanged behind my back, smiles she reserved for someone else. And you didn't tell me? I asked, voice steady but my heart racing. You wanted space, yet you were creating distance to be with him. I didn't know how, she said, tears spilling now. I was afraid. I wanted to. I don't know. I wanted someone to make me feel alive again. Her voice cracked. Mine did too, though I refused to let it show. You didn't need space. You needed a choice. And you made it, I said, each word measured. Every GPS point, every sneaky message, every lie. It wasn't about space. It was about him. She couldn't argue. She hung her head. I paced the room, trying to absorb the weight of everything. My hands clenched into fists, my mind cycling through anger, grief, and disbelief. Then I stopped. I need to know one thing, I said quietly. Did you ever love me while this was happening? She froze. Her tears fell slower now. Her voice was barely audible. I thought I did. I wanted to. I tried. But I didn't. That sentence, so small, carried the power to end the world I'd been living in. And in that moment, I felt a strange clarity. You chose him over me, I said simply. Not by accident. Not by mistake. By choice. She nodded. Yes. I exhaled. Slow, deliberate. My heart still hurt. The betrayal cut deep, but the clarity brought a strange sense of control. I could choose my next step. Then we're done, I said firmly. Not because I hate you. Not because I want revenge. But because I respect myself enough to walk away. Her face paled. So that's it? Just like that? Yes. Because if I stay, I let this define me. And it won't. You'll live with your choices. I'll live with mine. The room went silent except for her soft sobs. I didn't comfort her. I didn't apologize. I just collected her bag and set it near the door. You'll leave? She asked, whispering. I already have, I said. I didn't wait for her to say anything else. I walked out of the apartment, out of the life we built together, and into the cold night that suddenly felt like freedom. My body ached with loss, but my soul felt lighter. Driving away, I didn't check my phone. I didn't call a friend. I just drove, letting the headlights carve a path through the darkness. The GPS history she thought was her secret became the roadmap to my own liberation. The next morning, I deleted her contact. I changed my locks. I signed the papers she didn't even know I'd started. Every action was a reminder. Betrayal might take what you love, but it cannot take who you are. Weeks later, I learned she tried to reach out. But I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Her space had cost her the life we had. And I had chosen myself. I felt heartbreak. I felt rage. I felt sorrow. But mostly, I felt something I hadn't felt in months, peace. Because sometimes seeing the truth, painful as it is the only way to finally breathe.